Okay, let us start. Mulavidya Nirasa. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Okay, so discuss. How to discuss? There should be some method. There should be certain norms for discussing. Otherwise, people just go anywhere, bring any argument, bring any quotation and say that mine is proven otherwise. So that is not the way. There should be a right way of discussing. Logical, common ground between two debaters. There should be a common ground between debaters, and there should be a healthy way of discussion so that we will be able to come to a conclusion which is acceptable to all. Okay, that should be the right way of a discussion. So first, the Purvapakshi told, where is the need to discuss all this? It is already settled. The problem is clear. Solution is clear. He says, the Purvapakshi told, where is the need to discuss? Veda is eternal and apaurushaya. Not authored by anybody. Therefore, whatever Veda says, that is final. Because Atma Tattva, the truth is a subject matter of Veda. Therefore, whatever Veda says, that is final. Therefore, there is no need for this discussion at all. Purvapakshi told. For that, Swamiji replied, no, because what you say would have been okay had there been no dispute regarding the very Veda. Particularly the eternity of the Veda and apaurushayatvam, the authorlessness about the Veda. About these two characteristics about Veda, there is a dispute. There has been, even among the ancestors, even in India in the ancestral days, in Sanskrit books, if you see them, they objected. They told Veda is not eternal. Nayayikas objected. Mimamsakas held Veda to be eternal, but Nayayikas didn't accept. Some people didn't accept. Charvakas didn't accept. There have been there even before. We discussed this yesterday, okay, about eternity of the Veda. Now coming to the authorlessness of the Veda. Regarding authorlessness, let me come to the point. Nityatveshati pramani, because regarding the eternity, there was a contradiction. There is a mutual contradiction. Eternity, taking the eternity of Veda for granted, Veda is taken as a valid means of knowledge for revealing the truth. Veda is the valid means of knowledge for teaching the truth. Why? Because Veda is eternal. Okay, how do you know Veda is eternal? Because Veda itself says. See, eternity is shown as a reason to prove its validity. And the same Veda, before its validity is proven, that Veda is brought to prove its eternity. So it becomes a contradiction. So it is a mutual dependency. Both are assumptions. Therefore, it doesn't work. Eternity of Veda is not at all established. They say eternity. Have you seen eternity? Because before you were born, Veda was there or not, nobody would know. How do you know that it has been eternal? Impossible to know. Then Veda itself says, means first thing is Vedic validity. How do you prove? If Vedic validity was proven independently, then Vedic statement that it is eternal would have become valid. But you are showing Veda being eternal, it is valid. Since it is valid, it is telling that it is eternal. Now this has become anyonyashraya, mutual dependency. It can't be accepted. Now coming, this we have discussed yesterday. I am just for the connection, I am just repeating it. Okay, 5 minutes over in repeating it. We will proceed with today's topic. Now next is Nityatvam is over. Bhavedevam yadi nityatve paurusheyatve va evam hivadino adhunathana vadanti. Okay, paurusheyatvam api. I should mark here, otherwise again and again. Now regarding the paurusheyatvam. Paurusheyatvam means authored book. Is it authored or unauthored? Veda, regarding the authorlessness, non-human origin, it is not written by, it is not authored by a human being. Okay, Veda. Regarding this, let us say paurushayatvam means what? If a book is paurushayatvam api vadi paurushayatve no kim purusha sambandha matrat pramanatva vighatakam utaho pramanantaropalabdha prakashakatvaditi vivektavyam. Now say, you are holding Veda to be authorless, therefore authorless means it is not written by a human being, therefore it is valid. It is a valid means of knowledge. Now the question comes, regarding its authorlessness, we have to determine between these things. Is this human medium? Because paurushayatvam means related to human being, related to a person, human medium. Because for the Vedic manifestation, for the Veda to manifest, human medium. What is human medium? Or it's Vedas repeating or echoing the things that are known for these things. We say Veda becomes invalid if it were authored by, if it were what you say, paurushayatvam means human medium. If there was a human medium for the manifestation of Veda. Paurushayatvam means a human medium. Human being as a medium to manifest the Veda. Paurushayatvam means a human medium. How to say that? Let me put the notebook here. Paurushayatvam is human medium. So, what is it that is objectionable to you? You are objecting the human medium, connection of human medium to the Veda. Connection of human medium for the manifestation of Veda. If human medium is connected, is related to Veda, then you say Veda cannot be valid. So if Veda is not connected to human medium, then it becomes a valid means of knowledge. So it is not connected to human being. That means it is not manifested through a human medium. Not through a human medium means what? Not through a human medium means what? Do you mean to say that the Veda has fallen from heaven and no human being has written? It has just fallen from heaven? How and when? When did it fall and how and who first saw it and who caught it? So if you say it has not used the human medium for its manifestation without the help of the human medium. Without the help of human medium, it has manifested. When you say without the paurushayatvam means what? Help of a human medium. Without the help of human medium, paurushayatvam pikim, without the human medium means it should not be connected to human being, human medium. Then what do you mean by this? He says, Purusha sambandha matrat pramanatva vighatakam. Just because it has manifested through the human medium, it becomes invalid. Paurushayam means what? The human medium pollutes it and renders it invalid. Okay? Pollutes, or what do you say, not pollution, renders it defective. Human medium makes it defective and thereby renders it invalid. Okay. Human medium makes it defective and renders it invalid. Okay. So, पौरुषेयत्वमपि किं पुरुषसम्बन्धमात्रात् प्रमाणत्व विघातकं. Just because there is a human medium, its validity goes wrong, its validity suffers. Okay. Its validity suffers means it becomes invalid. It becomes invalid. Connection with the human medium. Does it make it invalid just because it is connected to human medium? Or, because Paurushayatvam means what? First we have to decide that. Or he says, Purusha Sambandhamatrat Pramanatva Vighatakam. I am trying to translate from the Sanskrit statement, therefore I have to do 2 or 3 times so that I have to be, my translation be near the text. I can just give my general idea, but some people might be holding the book, so they want to understand the sentence also, therefore I have to restructure my sentence 2 or 3 times. Idea is same, you have understood, but I have to repeat it so that my translation should be closer to the book. Okay, next point is Vighatakam Mutaho Pramanantaropalabdha Prakashakatvat, or the human medium makes it invalid. Human medium itself becomes a defective, a minus point. The human connection becomes a minus point just because any human medium renders it defective. Or human medium means what? It's repeating or echoing the things that are known through other means of knowledge. Human being has got a certain means of knowledge. That is, perception is one means of knowledge. Pratyaksha pramanam we call in Sanskrit. Second is inference. You see one part of it and with the help of it you infer the other part of it or a part connected with it. That is called inference. Okay. So, Pratyaksha and Anumana, perception and inference, these are the common means we employ to understand anything. Therefore, any knowledge gained through human medium, means perception and inference. If Veda is Veda beyond perception and inference, that means is Veda revealing certain facts which cannot be understood by perception and inference. That means Veda is not repeating or echoing the knowledge gained through perception and inference. You say Veda is beyond human medium, beyond human connection. It is apaurusheya. It is authorless. It is unconnected with human medium. In what sense you mean this? In what sense? It is not connected to human medium. Because Veda is not echoing or repeating what a human being gains through his perception and inference. What is gained through by a human being is through perception and inference. That is called human knowledge. Or the human knowledge means knowledge through a human being. Knowledge through the medium of human being. Okay? Knowledge through a human medium. Knowledge through human medium means what? We are establishing the meaning of through human medium means what? Anyway, coming through human being is a human medium. Or it is echoing, the Veda is echoing or repeating what a human being gathers through his perception and inference. Because human knowledge comes only through perception and inference. If Veda is repeating the knowledge which can be gained through perception and inference, Pratyaksha and Anumana, then we could say Veda is only echoing, repeating the human knowledge. then it can't be beyond human knowledge. It can't be authorless, because it is only echoing or repeating human knowledge alone. So, Paurushayatvam means connecting to the human medium means what? Two alternatives he has given. You mean that it should not come through human being at all? It should not manifest through human being at all? Without a human being means it should come directly from heaven? Or if you dig the earth and you find it there, how should it come? If it should not be connected with a human medium, it should not come through human medium, means what do you mean? In what sense do you mean? It should descend from heaven? Even if it descends from heaven, from what language it should come? This is also a bit difficulty. What language it should come? Should it come in a language that is known to human being, or it should come through a totally an unknown language? If it comes through an unknown language, I cannot understand. If it comes through a language which is already known to me, then you say that some human being must have written. Doubt comes that the language which is already prevalent in an area, some human being must have written. Now, how do you know that it is unconnected with a human source? It is not a human source. The knowledge is not coming from a human source. It is a non-human source, non-human origin. Okay. Non-human origin or non-human source means what? In what sense? Two meanings. One is that the human medium should not be used at all. No human being should not be used at all. If we don't use human being, then should you mean directly descends? Then at least it has to use your language. Then how? How should it descend? Without human being, no text can come. Human mind has to be used. It has to manifest through human mind alone. Or the other alternative is the human knowledges are gained through perception and inference. You mean it becomes defective. It wants to avoid the human source. Avoiding the human source means it should not echo or repeat the human knowledges gained through perception and inference. They are called human knowledges. The human source of knowledge is perception and inference. If Veda is talking something which cannot be understood through perception and inference, but something beyond it, then we can say that it is a non-human source. It has come from non-human source. Out of these two meanings, which meaning you mean here? Okay. Non-human source, non-human connection. In what sense? So, pramanantaropalabdha prakashakatvaditi vivektavyam natavat purti sambandha matram aparadhyati. As for the human medium, it is not at all a defect. See, coming through, manifesting through human being is not at all a defect, because Veda Shastras, our tradition doesn't reject that. It can come through human medium. Because any book has to come through human medium, otherwise how well it will come? It won't come from heaven. It won't fall from heaven. It has to come through human medium alone. Therefore, using a human being as a medium doesn't make it defective. Okay. As for the human medium, it is not at all a defect. Using a human medium for the manifestation of Veda is not at all defective. Na purusha sambandha matram aparadhyati, because shruterapi vamadevadi sambandhasya ishtatvat, because Shruti also says Vamadeva Rishi has seen Brahma Tattvam like this, like Brihadaranyaka, Rigveda, all these Veda mantras say Aham Manurabhavam Rishishcha iti Brihadaranyaka Upanishad said. See, Rishir Vamadevo etat pasyan evam avochatiti. He had this darshan of Atma Tattva and he presented like this. So Shruti doesn't deny, doesn't reject the human relationship, doesn't reject the human medium for the manifestation of the Veda. Veda doesn't have an objection. Human medium is accepted. So it accepts the rishis like Vamadeva and others as a medium for its manifestation. Veda doesn't mind it, it accepts it. Then if human medium is accepted, then what is that which is rejected? Okay, as for the second alternative, that is that the human source of knowledge is using the perception and inference to gain that knowledge. If the knowledge manifesting through human being is not a problem, but if human being is using his perception and inference to gain the knowledge, then it makes it defective. So when we say Veda is Apaurusheya, non-human origin, we only mean in this sense that though it is manifesting through human being, it is not repeating or echoing the human way of understanding. What is that? Human source of knowledge, that is perception and inference. It is not repeating what is gained through perception and inference. What cannot be understood through perception and inference, it is teaching that knowledge. In this sense, we have to say it is Apaurusheya. Then it will be okay. Shruterapi Vamadevadi Sambandasya Ishtatvat Atha Pramanantaropanita Prakashakatvadeva Apramanyam Tarhi. Okay. First alternative, I just repeat what we discussed, that human medium is not rejected. Then what makes it invalid? What kind of human relation makes it invalid? If human being himself becomes a source of knowledge, then it becomes invalid. Human being can become a medium for manifestation, but human being should not become a source of agent of knowledge. Source of knowledge means human being has got certain way of acquiring knowledge, that is perception and inference. So that knowledge, when it passes through human being, human being should not have gained the knowledge through perception and inference. He should be a simple medium without using his perception and inference. Then it is okay. This much is accepted. Then we call it Apaurusheya. It is non-human origin, non-human source. Okay, this much is accepted. But there is another problem. Swamiji says, if this is accepted, then there will be another problem. Tarhi. Okay, what is the problem? If in this sense Veda is of non-human origin, Veda is beyond human origin, okay, if in this sense if you take it, then there are many contenders for it. Veda is not unique in this sense. Veda is not unique. There are many contenders to claim the same non-human source. Okay, he says, Tarhi Parameshwara Prerita Eva Mahatmano Bible Grantha Pranetaraha Ityupayanto. Printing mistake, I'm just correction. Just a second. And he says, Bible Pranetaraha, Quran Pranetaraha. So the Bible Pranetaraha, what you call them, the gospel writers like John, and then what is his name? There are four gospels are there. So the gospel writers are there. So Mahatmano Bible Grantha Pranetaraha, the gospel writers, they are there. And also the Muhammad prophet who claims to have received Quran. So these people say Christiyaha, they also say we are also human medium alone. Those gospel writers are simple human medium, or the Prophet Muhammad is only a simple human. He says that I am not composing it. God has chosen me as a medium. So the knowledge that comes through Bible and Quran is not gained through perception and inference. Therefore, it is not interfered by human source, human mind. They are not interfered by human mind. Human mind has been simple medium. They are manifesting directly from Ishvara. So they also claim. So there are, if this interpretation, non-human source for Veda is explained, then what happens? The same non-human source is claimed by other books also. Pramanantara anadigata vishayanscha, because Swarga, after death going to Swarga, that there is God, he gives you Swarga, that there is a heaven. These things cannot be figured out by perception and inference. If heaven and hell are perceived by everybody, then everybody could perceive. There would not have been dispute about it. There would not have been atheist who would say, no, we don't accept heaven and hell and all that. Everybody would have become religious if heaven and hell were perceived by every common human being, common man. Nobody perceives. Have you ever perceived heaven and hell? Nobody perceived. Okay. Then can you infer? If there is a perfect logic, if we can infer, all logical thinking, scientists, etc., all our education system would have proven that there is heaven and hell. Therefore, nobody can prove it logically by inference. Nobody can perceive them. Therefore, heaven and presence of heaven and hell, after death we go to that heaven and hell, Ishvara is there, he will send to heaven and hell. These ideas cannot be understood by perception and inference. They have to be received directly from non-human source alone. Therefore, they say these Bible authors, the gospel writers, and also the Prophet Muhammad, these people also claim, even Old Testament writers also, Moses and others, Old Testament, 3 religions, there are many religions, all the religions claim. They claim that their books were coming from non-human source. They were not composed by them. All those prophets of those religions were only human media alone. Therefore, they are coming from non-human source, because the topics discussed in those shastras, in those books, were neither perceived nor inferred, neither by perception nor from inference. Therefore, they are got directly from non-human source alone. Therefore, if this interpretation you give, if this meaning is equally applicable to Bible, Quran and many other books also, they also start claiming, then Veda's uniqueness is lost. Who is telling? Swamiji is telling. Then Pramanantara anadigata vishayanscha swargadin, Swarga and such others, Swarga and hell, heaven and hell and such others cannot be figured out. And such knowledge is given through our books. Therefore, it is a direct manifestation of Ishvara. It is a non-human source. Bible Mula Pramanakatvena Vyavaharanto Bhavanti. They become Prabala Pravadinaha. They become strong contenders, strong competitors. I just repeat I read out my translation, which I did it 10 years ago or even more than that. I think more than 10 years ago I did this first chapter, I have done it. So, I'll just read out my translation. If we accept this criterion, Veda becomes invalid. If the second alternative, such as Veda becomes invalid for repeating or echoing what can be known by the other means of knowledge, like perception and inference, then we say in reply, we accept this criterion. If we accept this criterion for making Veda as of non-human origin, to accept the Veda as a non-human origin, if this interpretation, this meaning is accepted, then what happens? If this criterion is accepted, then Christians and other religion followers become tough rivals, competitors, contenders against us. They become tough contenders against us, because they too claim the same thing against us. Since they are also they also claim, because they too hold that their saints who composed their holy books such as Bible and Quran are only inspired by God. They are not gaining that knowledge of heaven and hell through perception and inference. Okay, they are also gaining the knowledge through non-perception, non-inference. Non-inferentially, Non-perceptively only they are gaining the knowledge. That means it is a direct revelation from God, inspiration of God. So the Bible reveals things like heaven and hell and others, and are not knowable through any other means of knowledge like perception and inference. Thus, the attempt to make iti aridurga rakshanayam yatnasyaditi, therefore, calling Veda as valid means of knowledge, because for what reason you are giving? Because it is coming from non-human source. It is coming from non-human source. If this reason you give, you are not protecting the Veda, you are not talking in defense of Veda. The criterion you have used here to defend Veda, to make Veda as a valid means of knowledge, the same criterion is equally applicable to our opposite contenders. That means Veda's uniqueness goes away. The same criterion is applicable to other granthas. Then what will you do? Then again dispute started. Swamiji says, you say we quote Veda and we prove it. First thing is prove Veda is valid, is the only source of knowledge. Why is the only source of knowledge? Because it is a superhuman source. How do you prove it is a superhuman? Has it fallen from him? No. It comes through human being, but it is not a, human being is not a source, but human being is only a medium. If human being is not a source, but only a medium, it is acceptable. In that sense, Veda is a valid means of knowledge. If that is the case, the same criterion is applicable to many other books. Then Veda's uniqueness goes away. Then you have to include Bible, Quran, and then discuss. You have to take Veda, Upanishad, as well as the Bible, Quran, all books together, and then decide the truth. Then your criterion that we should accept only Veda and reject all other things falls apart. Okay, now where will you go? Okay, Aridurga Rakshanayam. Swamiji uses beautiful poetic expression. Aridurga Rakshanam. The criterion which you are giving is going to protect the enemy's fort. It is reinforcing enemy's fort and weakening you. That means it is making you one of the contenders, and then you are protecting the enemy. I don't know how I start. Let me see my translation. Thus, this attempt to give such a criterion for the Vedic validity only goes to strengthen the rivals or opponents' fort and does not prove the Veda's unique validity. Okay. If this is the criterion, then what should we do? Astu va yatha katanchit nityatve vedasya paurushayatve va vadinama vipratipatti. Then Swamiji is taking a different argument. So he is going to a different argument. But on this I have something to say. Oh, time is up. I think we are taking a short period. But doesn't matter, since we cover every day a small portion. I have written some arguments of my own. I will add a few more arguments. Then I will continue with Swamiji's explanation. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. So from 12 to 1, no, 11 to 12 and 12 to 1, between these 11 to 11:45 my Vishuddha Vedanta Paribhasha, 5-10 minutes, little extend, it may extend around 11 to 11:45. Again 12:15 to 1 o'clock is our Mulavidya Nirasa. Okay, this let us have it tentatively, a regular time, though a 5 to 10 minutes little it will be stretches little before or later. Okay, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.